This is one of the most important parts of what I'm going to go through because it sets up what's really happening in mobile. And I call it How Mobile Changes Us. It's not just that we have nifty new screens and really cool new devices like the Galaxy, like iPad, like the new Droid X, all of that. That's not what the real story is. That's just the screens. The story is how mobile, how freeing, how connecting, how this truly changes us, and that means your customers too, preferences, habits, expectations, and maybe most important, your thresholds. We now spend, thanks to mobile and social, in addition to TV, in addition to radio, in addition to all other types of media, we now spend more than half our waking day consuming media. When you're emailing, when you're accessing apps, when you're watching TV, when you're having to catch up on like 85 hours of TV and that DVR because you swore you were going to watch it all and then all of a sudden it's full, we are consuming media like crazy. And we're consuming more than half our day because we are always connected, we are always on, we are always dialed in. We are consuming more than half our day. So what's the brand implication for marketers? If folks are spending more than half their day consuming media, you want to make sure that part of that time, they're spending their time and attention on you, and you want to start building out for it now. This space is moving too fast. We're impatient. In the last 3 years, for a web page to load, we've gone from 4-second threshold to 2-second threshold. Who here, when it takes a really long time for something to load on your phone or it takes a couple minutes for email to come in, who here, loud and proud, thinks some expletives while that phone is loading, getting angry? Keep your hands up. Who here actually says expletives? I do. Okay, if we do it, so do our customers, so do our prospects. What does that mean? That means we need to build out for the mobile environment. They're not so different from us. It is absolutely intolerable to me if I'm on the way to the airport, which I am frequently, and I'm checking Continental or JetBlue from my mobile phone, and I'm not easily able to find out if my flight has been delayed or if it's on time, or if I didn't get that text that I signed up for to tell me half an hour ahead of time if that flight is laid over or grounded. We absolutely expect to get what we want when we want. We expect self-serve. We expect for it to happen in 2 seconds or less. So if we expect it, if our society is changing that way, then our marketing has to absolutely align itself. I call it the new normal. We have multitasking, multiple conversations, multiple devices, multi-screens. It is a multi-channel society, and it ain't going away. I have a lot of discussions with people who say, oh, these devices, CK, they're putting us further and further away from relationships. And do you know what I say to them? I say, I cannot shut my dad up these days. He is texting me, he is emailing me, he is calling me. I have more communications, and I'm seeing him every couple of months. I have more communications with my family because we can communicate so many different ways. I actually use a lot of photos when I text, so I do MMS instead of SMS because it's a lot more fun. I'll just show where I am my day, or I'll show a fun New York scene or whatnot. But a lot of people say it's getting us further away from where we are as a cohesive society. It doesn't have to. And as marketers, we need to work with this multi-channel society. We need to understand that folks need things in a bite-sized way. We need to understand that when they're tweeting or they're texting during our conversation, they're not being rude. Not at all. This is my girl here. She was back here with me last time, too. I love it. This is the way things go. I'm amazed that people will say, can you wait to tweet until after the presentation? I'm thinking a lot of those expletives when they're saying it. I'm like, no. You just don't ask that. You need to work with how society is changing, because these are just the screens. The biggest thing to understand is these dramatic shifts in our thresholds, our preferences, our expectations, and where we're at as a society. And if you do that and you really understand how profound mobile is, not because of the devices, because of these changes and shifts, that's how you'll best succeed in this century, in this decade, and the next.